All right, let's talk about a principle that, if you believe our source, is the real secret to how the rich seem to play a totally different game than the rest of us. It's an idea that's been around for centuries, and it's called Gresham's Law.
So, let me just start with a simple question. I've got two things for you right here. A brand new, crisp $10 bill, or this kind of dusty old 50-cent piece from 1964. Which one are you taking? I mean, most of us would snag the $10, no question. But what if I told you that choice reveals a huge misunderstanding about what money really is?
Well, here's the thing. According to the philosophy we're digging into today, the smartest people in the room, the ones building what our source calls an asset empire, they would grab that old $50 in a heartbeat. And figuring out why, well, that's the key to this whole thing.
So to really get why they'd make that choice, we first have to talk about a concept our source calls fake money. And honestly, this is the bedrock of the entire argument. So what exactly is fake money? Well, the way our source defines it, it's any currency that's basically just government-printed debt. It isn't backed by anything real or tangible, which means there's no limit to it. It can literally be created out of thin air, by the trillions, whenever it's politically convenient.
And here's the punchline. Because this stuff can be printed endlessly, it's pretty much designed to lose value over time. We call that inflation. Our source is super clear on this. In this system, if you're just saving this kind of money, you're losing. Your purchasing power is slowly but surely getting wiped out.
So how did we even get here? Well, our source points to two key dates, two real turning points. Back in 1964, the US stopped making its coins out of 90% silver. Then, the big one. In 1971, the US dollar was completely disconnected from the gold standard. That, according to this view, is when the whole global financial system really went off the rails. And just to give you a sense of the scale we're talking about today, get this. The source claims that governments are firing up the printing presses to the tune of $1 trillion new dollars, roughly every 90 days. That constant watering down of the money supply is everything to this argument.
And all of this whole idea of fake money flooding the system, it leads us right to the main event, a rule that's been around for ages, Gresham's Law.
And the law itself? It's incredibly simple. Just 4 words. Bad money drives out good. But what on earth does that actually mean?
Okay, think of it this way. If you have 2 types of money in your wallet, and you know one is basically a melting ice cube, and the other is a solid gold coin, which one are you going to use to buy coffee? You're going to spend the melting ice cube, right? And you're going to stash that gold coin somewhere safe. That's Gresham's Law. The good money disappears from circulation because everyone is hoarding it.
Our source has this perfect personal story that just nails this point. As a 17-year-old kid caddying in Hawaii, he noticed when the coins changed in 1964, when they stopped being silver. And you know what he did? He just instinctively started picking the old silver coins out of his tips and saving them. He didn't even know the name for it, but he was living Gresham's Law, spending the new bad money and hoarding the old good money.
Okay, so this whole good money versus bad money thing, let's really spell it out. What's the actual difference according to this philosophy?
This chart right here breaks it down beautifully. On one side, you've got bad money, our everyday fiat currency. What's backing it? Just a government promise. How much of it is there? Basically unlimited. And its long-term value? It goes down. That's inflation. Now, on the other side, good money, like gold and silver. It's backed by a real physical asset. Its supply is finite. You can't just print more gold. And so its value tends to increase over the long haul as all that bad money gets created.
And you know, this leads to a complete shift in how you think about wealth. Our source says he doesn't care what the daily price of gold is. He only cares about how many tons he owns. See the difference? The focus isn't the fluctuating dollar value, it's the physical amount you've managed to accumulate.
All right, so if that's the problem, what's the fix? Well, according to our source, it's all about building what they call an asset empire.
And it all starts with changing the question you ask yourself. You know, most of us are asking, how can I get a pay raise? Which is really just asking for more of that bad money. The right question, our source argues, is how can I afford to acquire real assets? That one question completely changes your focus. It's a total game changer.
So what counts as a real asset? Well, you've got the classics, physical gold and silver, real estate, but also things that produce value, like oil wells or gold mines. And yeah, our source also includes newer decentralized assets like Bitcoin, because they exist outside of that traditional central banking system.
So the whole strategy, when you really boil it down, is just 3 simple steps. It's about training your brain. Step 1, learn to see the difference between fake money and real assets. Step 2, spend the fake money. Use it for your groceries, your bills, all that stuff. And step 3, hoard the good stuff. Any surplus cash you have, you use it to buy and hold on to those real assets. You're basically turning Gresham's law into your personal financial strategy.
And all of this really leaves us with one last big question for you to think about. I want you to take a hard look at your own savings, your investments, your wealth. Is it all built on a currency that, from this point of view, is literally designed to melt away over time? It's a heavy question, for sure.